listen, why don't we get started, Sam and everyone. So hello again, and welcome to the Food for the Poor Canada 2021 annual general meeting cocktail reception. I wish I had a cocktail to share with you all, but I don't. But we did want to find a way to get together and to connect with you who have been so important to our work over the past year. 2021, as I'm sure I don't really need to say, was a year of change and resilience for us and many others. And it was the passion and generosity of you, our donors, that have kept us motivated to keep moving. We, like everybody else, got slowed down a little bit, I suppose, by the pandemic. But with your help, we believe we've made a real meaningful difference in the lives of many children and families across the Caribbean and Latin America. So this, a large part of this event is reporting back to you on some of the things we've been doing, and to, of course, thank you for your generosity. Just before we get going, maybe I could just share a couple of housekeeping items. Everyone who is in the meeting will be muted automatically during the time when individuals are making remarks, but we'll have a Q&A session to end the reception and to the AGM, and to ask questions then. You can also use the chat feature. I see some of you are doing so already, to ask questions, and we'll answer those as well. Just a note, we will be recording, we are recording this session, and may use future extracts for future social media posts. If you prefer not to be part of any video, you can keep your cameras off, and you can also modify the name that appears as your Zoom name if you wish. So with that, maybe we'll just jump into the 2021 was also a year where you, our donors, gave us the tools to help change the lives of many individuals. We wanted to share a few moments, as I mentioned, to share a few of the important milestones with a video that we've put together. And I would ask the staff to just play this now. This is only a couple of minutes, but it's a good introduction to the day. Well, thanks very much for that video. As the final slide said, none of these projects would have been possible without you or our other donors. And we thank you for your passion and dedication to help so many children and families in communities and countries that are thousands of miles away. Despite the many hardships we've all faced globally and in our communities here at home, you give us hope that we're in this together and that you will be there when help is needed in the future. So once again, thank you for giving families and children the tools to change their lives in the Caribbean and Latin America. The world can be so dark at times, but you are giving people real tools and a real hope for a better life. This marks the, I guess, the end of 6 years that I've spent on the Food for the Poor board. 5 of those as chair of the board. One of the things we want to do at this AGM is to introduce you to the incoming Food for the Poor Canada Board of Directors for 2022. And with your patience, I'd like to just congratulate and welcome the new board and to identify them for you. First off, I can say that Andre Bastien and Sherry Payne have agreed to share the chair duties. They'll be co-chairs of Food for the Poor for the coming year. And it's really my pleasure to congratulate and welcome them. Celia Meikle is the organization's treasurer. Audrey Golding, Lisa Moore, and David Oswald round out the returning members of the board. And I can say welcome to 2 new directors. First is Bahai Sami, and then Richard Verasamy, both of whom have just started their duties on the board. And I'd like to thank all of you for agreeing to serve as volunteer directors with Food for the Poor Canada. Your leadership and expertise will be incredibly valuable as our organization moves the mission forward with donors, volunteers, partners, and individuals and families that we support across the Caribbean and Latin America. Before I pass the floor over to our new co-chairs, Andre and Sherry, I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce you to the Food for the Poor Canada staff team. And I have to say, it's the staff working from home for much of the past year who've been able to keep the wheels turning and the organization delivering what I think is a strong set of projects over the past year. And I'd really like to thank them. But to introduce them, Andrea Slipik is the Senior Manager of International Projects. Joel Johnson is the Digital Communications Manager. Denise Mehta is the Operations Manager. And Trish Gergish is our Director of Philanthropy. And of course, everyone will know and needs no introduction, the Executive Director of the organization, Samantha Mahfood. Sam was the founder of Food for the Poor Canada over a decade ago and continues to provide superb leadership to the team. To the staff, I'd like to thank everyone for the dedication you've shown to Food for the Poor Canada. We appreciate all that you do to take care of donors, volunteers, beneficiaries. I encourage you to reach out to this team, donors and those in attendance. I encourage you to reach out to this staff team if you have any questions about upcoming projects and how you can help. I'd now like to introduce our new co-chairs, Sherry Payne and Andre Bastien, to say a few words. And I believe it's Sherry who's kicking off in that regard. So over to you, Sherry.
Thanks, Robert. Well, good evening, everyone. It's good to see everyone's faces and to gather together to celebrate the work of Food for the Poor over the last year. As Robert said, I'm Cherie Payne, and I'm based in Vancouver. I joined the board in 2021, and the reason I wanted to join is that professionally speaking, my background is in advocacy and government relations for not-for-profit organizations, public interest groups, and health organizations. And of course, my parents are from the Caribbean, so I have a strong tie, from the heart. My mother's from Trinidad, and my father's from Grenada. So finding an opportunity to bring all of those aspects of myself together to serve a not-for-profit with such a strong staff team and such a strong commitment to the region was really important to me. And I found over the last year that working with this board and with staff has been really rewarding. So I'm happy to greet you all this evening and looking forward to the next year as co-chair together with Andre.
Andre, over to you.
Yeah, Rob, thank you so much. And I do apologize. My internet's a little bit unstable here at home, so I'll keep my comments brief. And thank you everybody for the patience. So, it's interesting. I was thinking about the arc of my relationship with Food for the Poor Canada and my involvement and even my giving to that extent. And it really started with a conversation that I had with Samantha Mahfood. With many things begin with Samantha Mahfood. And 4 years ago, and at that time, I became interested in an organization called Every Child Counts, which is located in the country that I grew up in Navico, Bahamas. And it's a special school that really helps a lot of children with unique needs, and it helps them with regard to lunch program.
Andre, we're just having a little bit of sound problems, at least at my end. You might want to just wait for things to click back in.
I wonder if he should use his phone and just use data rather than the Wi-Fi. Yeah. Is he still there?
He's still frozen. Maybe someone can give him a call or an email.
Okay. Shall we move to Andrea for now, and then we'll go back to Andre?
Sure. Let's keep it rolling, and maybe let's go to the to Andrea and her presentation.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. As Rob mentioned, I'm Andrea, and I'm the Senior Project Manager of International Programs. And it's great to be here with all of you today to share some stories from the projects that you have supported. Despite the extra challenges, as you saw in the video that was shared to start off the meeting, much was accomplished because of you in 2021. So I just wanted to extend a big thank you for being there for so many families and for making sure that this important work continues. So my first update will be on Dirac Haiti. In the fall of 2018, we launched a Build a Village campaign to raise funds to build 60 homes. And although Food for the Poor Haiti has faced some challenges over the past 1 to 2 years, given delays caused by recent security issues and gang violence in the country, we were able to recently complete all 60 homes, and all of the families have now moved in. So the Dirac Sustainable Community is a larger project that over the next few years, Food for the Poor US will finish. And that will include adding components such as building a school, a community center, wells, a water treatment system, and implementing income generation opportunities for the community. So thank you once more to all of our donors who helped us finish this project and for giving 60 families a new home. I will now play a quick video for you, which is a thank you from one of the families who received a house.
Moi, les Gertrude, Joseph. Moi, j'ai 8 Simon. Ça que l'on fait 9. Moi-même, avec ma avec 8 Simon qui vivent dans la kon ya m senti m plus ou moins parce que m da viv non sel ti pou non sel ti chambre kay ak tout ti moun sa yo kon ya m senti m plus ou moins pi bon kon ya parce que bon Dieu fait m grâce ba mon côté kon ya kon ka vivre m tourner ensemble avec tout ti moun sa yo nous dormir bien nous lever bien par la grâce à Dieu même si nous pas de possibilité de manger mais nous dormir bien nous lever bien je me dis merci je me remercie en plus moi même Kaila moi même ça vous faire un cadeau de carbone de petite table ça la manger pour attirer tout nous remercie ça et moi bon Dieu béni nous pour envoyer le plus beau chose passer ça.
Okay, so my next update is on my Honduras trip. I'm sure many of you saw our communication come out with the updates from the trip, and I was very lucky to be able to visit and see our projects firsthand. It was a busy week where we visited many different communities and income generation projects. We spoke with different farmers, students, and the women's group that you support. During that week, I got a chance to see Dilcia's farm. She's one of our coffee farmers, and she has a plot of land right now of 3,000 coffee plants. She's been working on her farm now for about 1.5 years. So she has another 1.5 years to go before her coffee beans have fully matured, as that's usually how long it takes for them to be ready for harvest. So once her plants reach that stage, she will be able to pick those coffee beans and sell them to international buyers. And from that income, she will have enough money to be able to send her kids to school, which is something that she told me was very important for her and her husband to be able to do. That week, I also had a chance to see our agricultural vocational school, which was officially inaugurated in September. So when we pulled up to the school, there were students and teachers excited to show me around. They had put balloons and streamers everywhere and were just really excited to share the opportunities that they now had because they had this school. So one of the groups of students did a quick presentation for me where each of them had dressed up as their dream job. And it was really great to see the creativity behind the different career paths that the students want to take after they graduate. So the fact that they were already thinking about their futures was something that really stood out to me, because it made me realize that now, by having this space, this school that they previously didn't have before, they felt more motivation and empowerment to really start thinking about what they want to do when they get older. And so after the presentation, the kids took me around to see the 2 greenhouses that are on the school property. And one will be used for growing coffee plants and fruit trees, and the other one is being used for vegetables. And essentially what the space will be used for is for the students to get hands-on technical training in agricultural techniques. And some of these they can even take home and teach their parents to implement in their own gardens. So not only are students learning these skills for their own benefit, but they're also transferring them to family members who can use them for their own personal use, whether it be grow crops to be able to prepare meals for their families, or to sell them in the local market to make an income. So on a similar note, any crops that the students harvest in the school greenhouses will be sold by the school to community members. And these community members include the coffee farmers that we support. So not only are our coffee farmers getting more coffee plants from the school to continue to maintain their coffee farms, but the school is in turn making an income off of the farmers to be able to reinvest into growing more crops. So it just kind of goes to show you the full cycle of how one project can benefit an entire community. The final thing that I did on my visit to the school was meeting with a group of women from the Women's Empowerment Group. Last year, they began doing a skills workshop, but now they're only focusing on learning technical skills in an area where they have chosen to pursue a career. So this could be sewing, cooking, jewelry making, baking, hair and makeup, and event planning and piñata making. So one of the women that I met there that day, her name was Cynthia, and she was a mother of 4. And one of her dreams was to be able to send her children to university. So through these workshops, she said that she learned many skills, including financial literacy, entrepreneurship, what her strengths and weaknesses were. Although before she began taking these trainings, she wasn't really sure if this was something that she wanted to pursue, because she almost felt a sense of guilt or selfishness leaving her family behind at home while she went ahead and pursued her dream career. So in a sense, part of her felt like maybe this wouldn't be worth it. Maybe this isn't worth my time or energy. But regardless, she went forward with it and completed the sessions and came out feeling inspired to continue fighting for her children, and was even more excited to continue expanding her knowledge and skill set that would allow her to earn an income to support her family and ultimately send her kids to university. So the program really just left her feeling and believing that people are capable of achieving anything that they set out to do, which I thought was a really important message to take away from her experience. And to wrap up my updates, I wanted to give a quick summary on some of the upcoming campaigns that we're focusing on for the rest of the year. So the first is fundraising to build a women's income generation center for this women's empowerment group. And this will be a dedicated space where they can continue to do this technical training. And the second campaign that we're focusing on is addressing the current worldwide food crisis, given rising energy prices and the war in Ukraine. So providing greater access to food security to the communities we serve. And that would be done through supporting school feeding programs and community feeding programs through shipping and food distribution all across the Caribbean and Latin America. So on that note, I just want to say thank you once more. Thank you for your trust in myself and the entire team here to deliver on your vision and to help make the world a better place. We're so grateful that you chose to join us this evening and for supporting the work that we do year-round. And I very much look forward to the many impacts that we will continue to make together this year. Thank you.
Andrea, thanks so much. It's great to hear about specific projects and some of the people that these projects are assisting. It's super. Well done. Thanks. Samantha.
Is Andre ready, or what do you think,
Andre back online?
I am back online, but my internet's really unstable, so I'll be very quick with my comments. I just wanted to say thank you to the staff, to Andrea and Trish and Joelle and Denise, and to everyone. I think they do an incredible job. Samantha, you do an incredible job leading the organization and diversifying our group and creating a sustainable, strong core of employees. And I just think bravo to all of you guys and to all of our departing board members and chairs, which is Brett, Sean, and Rob. I think you guys have done an incredible job. 6 years worth of blood, sweat, and tears have gone to this organization. And I think you've done an incredible job. And the Caribbean and all of us owe you a debt of gratitude. And thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Andre.
Okay. So if I think it's my turn to just say a few last words, and then we're going to jump into the question and answer period.
Yeah.
So first of all, I want to say it's so good to see your faces, see your names, hear your voices. So good to have you with us. This is year 14 for me, and I'm so thrilled to see the commitment of our longtime donors, and the fact that we are gaining traction and bringing in new donors. It's so important to keep growing and to keep being able to do more work. I want to thank you on, you've all been thanked for everything that we did in 2021, and I want to thank you personally. And then I want to say thank you for continuing to support. As Andrea mentioned, we are today launching a campaign to try and provide 5 million meals to hungry families and children in the Caribbean and Latin America. So 5 million meals is a huge undertaking, and we are doing it with your help. We have 3 donors who are going to match up to $100,000 between now and the end of July. So you can leverage a gift to expand your reach, to expand your impact by giving a donation between now and the end of July. And I'm really looking forward to supporting the countries we work in. We're getting food requests from our countries. We're getting calls from the EDs of the different countries we're working in saying our warehouses are empty. We are not able to supply our ongoing recipients because the need is so much greater. So this is definitely a time for us to look and see if we can help in a big way. I am thrilled to continue to do this work, and I thank you for allowing all of us to do this work, both our board and our team. I think that's it for me. I mirror all the thank yous to the staff, to the board, and to the donors, and I really appreciate the work that we were able to do together. So I think if we could open up the floor, we are ready for questions for everybody. So any staff member, any board member, any just general questions about the work that we did in 2021, and then the work that we're hoping to do. Any questions about the organization in general? So if you want to maybe put your hand up or just unmute yourself and ask a question. And maybe we'll take the spotlight off Joel and just put everybody back on the view of.
I see, Sam, I see Denise in Trinidad today has her hand up.
Okay, perfect. Denise, did you have a question?
No, sorry, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, but I can ask, what do you think is the most significant risk that's facing our Caribbean counterparts, and how important it is to support these campaigns?
Who would like to respond to that?
Why don't you start, Sam?
Okay. I think there are so many diverse risks for the Caribbean and Latin America. Obviously, poverty and global warming would be the 2 that I would say are the most devastating. Our focus is on poverty. We are doing a bit to support agriculture that will help with global warming. We are sending down solar panels. But what we can do is provide income generation opportunities, help to provide food security, and I think that those are the 2 major problems facing the Caribbean and Latin America. Thank you, Denise.
Maybe I could just apologize to Denise. It was a mistake on my end that I saw a hand, but I see Cynthia has a question.
Yes, thank you very much. And thank you very much to you all for the work that you're doing. I guess my question deals with the 5 million meals that Samantha just referred to. What is the time frame for reaching that 5 million meals? And how is it divided in the different countries in which the organization works?
Sure. So in more detail, we're in 5 countries, and we're trying to do different things in different countries depending on the need. Haiti, we're going to do a larger community feeding program with a distribution of food to orphanages and schools, as well as larger community feeding programs. I would say Haiti will get our largest number of meals. From there, we have a great school feeding program that we're just about to start in Jamaica. it is will be, you know, a combination of cornmeal porridge and you know, hash and sardines, you know, so canned protein to supplement breakfast for about 1,200 early childhood students. We're just about to start that in the fall, so we're purchasing and setting down for that. In Guyana, we have a school feeding program supported by one of our great donors. That is in a school, the Kurukuru school feeding program. So we're trying to do a little bit in each country. So community feeding in almost all our countries, not Bahamas so much. The Bahamas, we're supporting Every Child Counts school feeding program, and then community feeding everywhere else, and school feeding in each country. The other piece that we're also trying to do is an income generation in as many countries as we can. So in Jamaica, Cynthia is considering supporting an onion farmer, a female onion farmer. And in Honduras, you know, obviously the Women's Income Generation Community Center, and coffee farmers and beekeepers. So trying to raise income so that people can purchase their own food. In Haiti, we're doing community gardens for Dirac, so allowing them to grow their own food. So it's a three-pronged approach, actually. Early childhood school feeding, community distribution, and income generation. I know that was a long answer.
No, but I just
2002, 5 million meals. 2022.
Okay.
I've lost 2 decades.
That was going to be my follow-up question and
Yeah.
the time frame. So that is for 2022 calendar year. Is that
That's
correct?
right.
Okay,
That's
thank you.
Any other questions? Maybe while people are thinking, Samantha, I could just ask, one of the great strengths of the organization is the partnerships we have on the ground. Can you maybe just flag who some of those partnerships are with, and the strengths they bring to the work we do? Definitely.
So we have, in general, our partners on the ground are the largest charities in their country. You know, we started to work with Saputo, who is in Honduras, and we were talking to the ambassador of Honduras, and she was saying, well, we work with Saputo, and I said, well, actually, that's our partner. So, you know, we choose the strongest charities on the ground. Our distribution partners are partners who distribute to the different organizations: Food for the Poor Jamaica, Food for the Poor Haiti, Food for the Poor Guyana, Saputo, and in Bahamas, Every Child Counts. So we in Haiti, Jamaica, we have about 3,000 different organizations that get deliveries, you know, every month, every 2 months, depending on the organization. We supply hospitals with medicines. You know, I spoke with somebody in Canada who had been on the ground in Haiti when after the earthquake hit. She was a physiotherapist helping with the people who had lost arms and legs. And she said, you know, what stood out for me about Food for the Poor is that when all the hundreds of charities that came in after the first year left, Food for the Poor was still there. They were still delivering needed antibiotics, bandages, food, etc. So it's, you know, all the hospitals are supported by Food for the Poor, especially in Jamaica, Haiti, and Guyana, but across, you know, in Honduras as well. So, and the other thing that I think is a real strength for Food for the Poor is Food for the Poor US has 17 partners, and if there is an emergency, we reach out to them and say, who's your partner? So, for example, St. Vincent, Dominica, we are able to partner with existing partnerships. We don't have to spread ourselves thin all year, but we can piggyback off of the great infrastructure that Food for the Poor US, as one of the largest charities in the world, we are able to piggyback with their infrastructure.
Just looking out at my screen, any other questions that people have?
I think we should call on one of our new board members, Richard or Sammy. I think Sammy may have dropped off, but Richard, do you have anything to add? No, there you are, Sammy. About what you, as a newcomer, what would you say that you are enjoying as part of the team? And you may be muted.
Okay, yeah, so I you know what, I don't even remember when I joined. No, it's been a few months, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I've attended one board meeting, and I mean, my impressions ever since the first time I met Samantha, it's a fantastic, Samantha's fantastic. She is a great face for the Food for the Poor organization. She got me excited about the project. I did come from a Caribbean background and stuff, so I certainly, it's something I was interested in, but Samantha got me really excited about the project and stuff. I met the various board members, the employees, and everyone's been great. The work you guys are doing, it's obviously, and we've seen some of it today, is stuff that I myself believe in. I believe that it's, it seems to be you guys are doing a great job, and I'm hopefully, myself can help. Haven't been able, it's early days, haven't gotten that involved yet, but as we go forward, like over the next few years, my goal would be to get myself much more immersed into the work that is being done and be able to contribute a lot more as well. So
great, thank you. Does anyone else have any questions? Marcia, you look like you want to ask something. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. It's Marcia Brown. So I'm wondering, with everything that's happened, is Food for the Poor experiencing donor fatigue?
Yeah, actually, Food for the Poor Canada is a small organization, and we get, we have peaks and valleys in how donors give. It's always, you never know, and you always, as my Uncle Robin used to say, you never know where the next gift is coming from, but God will provide. And he has so far, and I keep hoping that he will continue to. We have a new fundraiser and a new digital communications manager, so we are trying to raise awareness, raise more funds. But even Food for the Poor US, because I think because of this war and because of the instability of the economy, they were down 15%, not 50, 15% in their fundraising to the end of April. So if a large organization who raises about 100 million US a year is down 15%, that in general, that would be true, across the sector. So it's tough, people are looking at the instability in the stock market and going, how can I give? I don't know what's going to happen this year. So I want you to live in not scarcity, but the opposite of scarcity. But I'm 55 and I can't remember the word. Somebody, what's the opposite of scarcity?
Plenty.
I think it's infinite.
Plenty. There you go. So so don't worry, give and you shall reap the rewards of giving. So
yeah, maybe I could just add a few words on that. We've been blessed as an organization with some really generous donors, many of whom are here on the call today. One of the things that we recognize that we have to do as an organization going forward is to expand our monthly donor base. The individual or the family that is maybe not able to give large amounts at a particular time, but maybe could salt away something every month to direct our way. That will greatly assist evening out some of the peaks and valleys that Sam spoke about. And I guess I would encourage everybody on the call. You're all donors who have participated in project funding and so on. But if you've got friends or family, kids who are looking to get into charitable giving, but can't give large amounts right now, suggest to them a monthly program with us, because it has great impact for evening out some of those peaks and valleys, as I said before. So just help us we'll be working hard on that this year and going forward. But to the extent you have networks that you could encourage to think about that, or kids at school or whatever it is, but that would be greatly appreciated.
Thank you. I think I'll let Trish step up for a second and say thank you to Rob for sharing the fundraiser point of view.
Yeah, I'll just say that I was cheering as Rob was talking, because that's exactly what I think about, is those little gifts that can add up throughout the year, and they can just be as as small as $5 a month can make a big difference throughout the year. So yeah, thanks for Rob for doing that shameless plug. But yeah, I mean, you have networks, and sometimes giving monthly is a great way to feel good that you're giving back on a regular basis. And so I recommend all the time is choose your favorite charity and do something. I'm encouraging my friends. I think, there's been a lot of heavy news lately. And I feel like the one way that you can kind of move forward and be positive is honestly give back to your community, either volunteer or give money. It makes me feel better. I'm a monthly donor. I have 3 favorite charities that I give to every month. And I just feel like I'm doing something. It doesn't feel like, there's despair. It feels good. So if that's one message that I would take away, and give to people that is to give back. And Food for the Poor, I'm very new. This is only month 3 for me. But I'm passionate about Latin America and the Caribbean, and, kind of helping beyond my backyard. I can help my community on a regular basis, but I know that there are people in greater need in countries where there isn't a system to fall back on. There isn't, that safety net. So for me, I think that's really important too. So yeah, Food for the Poor is, a great option if you care about those countries. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I just want to say hi to everybody. So I want to hear about the build, Andrea. Tell us about the build.
Sure. So in July, a month from now, we're bringing a group of 15 volunteers down to Jamaica, and we're going to be building a classroom in Spanish Town for 3 to 6-year-old children. And it'll be 3 days of building, hammering, painting, Caribbean music, snacks, all that fun stuff. And then obviously have some time in the evenings to relax and catch up with one another. And it'll be a really good, fun week to give back to the community.
It's just a quick correction. It's a school, right? 3 classrooms, kitchen, playground, and it's actually right beside the Food for the Poor offices and warehouse in Jamaica, literally across the street. So we are going to.
I know where that is.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to be taking the team of volunteers to meet the staff at Food for the Poor Jamaica, to see the warehouse, to see the empty warehouse, to go and have lunch with some of the staff. We're also going to a mustard seed program, one of the organizations that we support. Great organization. I know Andrew supports Mustard Seed. So, and Andrew has been on a build or 2. I think it's 2, but his sister and niece and nephew are going. I'm not sure why he's not going, but I'll just leave it at that. So, but it's going to be great, and I'm excited to get back down and do the work. So we still have spots if anybody wants to come. Okay.
As someone who's been on a number of bills, I got hooked the first time I did it with Kisco and Food for the Poor. So this time I'm taking my son so that he will get a feel for what is it that I do when I go to Jamaica on a build, so that he knows it's not a vacation, it's actually work and it's worthwhile work. And so I'm really looking forward to the opportunity.
Question from Wesley and Apolline.
Hi, Wes.
Hi. Do you have any plans to resume container shipping to Haiti?
We will continue to ship to Haiti. We will not stop shipping to Haiti. We are going to reduce the amount of project work we do, the amount of building that we do in Haiti right now, just to let hopefully the violence slow down. We had some staff members kidnapped on the road recently. So we're trying to do the most important, which is the feeding that is timely, and we will continue to provide medicines and food, educational supplies, etc. for Haiti, but we'll do distribution. We probably won't do as much in the way of programming. But yes, definitely we will continue to support Haiti with food.
Sorry, those staff members are okay? You got them back?
We did.
They're unscathed, safe, yeah.
Andrea, are they,
Yeah.
everybody unscathed? Yeah, I mean, yeah.
They lost a car, but that's
Yeah.
nothing compared to, they're all fine.
And generally, in the other places you guys are working, you're generally safe or safer, I don't know, relatively speaking, I don't know.
Yeah, right now they're just working in sites that aren't considered a red zone. So so those are still going ahead, maybe a little bit delayed than usual, but they're fine to continue working in those areas.
Just out of curiosity, what kind of security measures are there for your safety and staff safety?
I would have to double check, but I'm pretty sure they have security guards with them.
Yeah.
Possibly police as well, police escorts.
Yeah.
And then they monitor for other security alerts throughout the country before they go anywhere to make sure that it's safe to proceed.
Yeah.
But typically they have somebody with them.
Yeah, no, in Haiti, you don't go anywhere generally, except if you have somebody with a machine gun, if you're going into red zones. I mean, even when Rob and I and a few other people went to Haiti after the Hurricane Matthew, I think, we had, police behind us, police in front of us. It's Wesley and Apolline, as you know, it's a hard country right now. There's lack of government. The gangs have gone from bad to worse. And so our staff in Haiti are working from home unless they have to come in. And if they have to come in, they're being careful. But we have had containers hijacked, and that is unfortunately part of the work. Somebody's getting food, so that's how we have to look at it. But we have to continue, and it's Haiti is harder to work in today than it has been, I think, ever. I don't know, Wesley, what would you say?
It is unprecedented.
Yeah.
I think because the resurgence of gangs and kidnapping is something that we never saw before. And up until there is an end to this cycle of violence, it will remain unsafe.
Yeah.
Lord willing, we are praying to go back in July. And so we are praying for a signal that yes, it is okay to go, but our determination is to keep caring for the people who need that care.
Yeah, no, we Food for the Poor Canada staff, Food for the Poor US staff will not go to Haiti. We have not gone to Haiti for over a year. Our Food for the Poor Haiti staff continue to work, but they reach out to the government, they reach out to the opposition, they reach out to the gangs to say, look, we need to get food across the country, and we need your help and we need your cooperation. So, they have, they will work with whoever they have to get their trucks across the country. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but we keep going.
And it's strange to say, but that's actually one of the strengths of Food for the Poor in Haiti, is the ability of the leadership there to reach out across political and societal lines like that to negotiate their way around road blockages and to talk their way into communities to ensure that food is delivered.
Yeah. If I would just like to say on, I know Andre has already thanked Rob and Sean and Brett, but I just want to say, as ED and Rob as the chair, we have spent a lot of time together. He has been a chair that really made himself available and brainstormed and mentored and really supported me, and so and the team. And I just want to say again, thank you for 6 years of work, and we're not going to miss you because you're already on a committee, so it's great.
Is this the time, Sam, when I could just say a couple of words?
Yeah, unless anybody else has any questions, I think we'll wind down.
I just had a quick question, Sam. You mentioned that there are 2 more spots on the volunteer bill. Do you want to remind us how does one get on that bill?
I think if anybody has any questions, Andrea is the right person, but it's open. But if you're interested, Andrea is the person.
So maybe just to close it out, at least from my perspective, to thank Sam and the staff, and of course the generous donors of Food for the Poor Canada. For the 6 years, it's been a great experience for me. As you've heard today, we've got committed donors. As you've seen today, we've got committed donors. We've talked about the committed staff that we have. I can say that we've got a strong board going forward, and that we've been working hard over the past 5 or 6 years on setting in place good governance structures as a board for the organization to ensure that we're providing the best advice and the best guidance we can to Samantha. In short, it's really Food for the Poor Canada is really an organization that people can have confidence in. You can be confident that the projects you fund get completed as designed and supported, and you can be confident that what we tell you is going on in the countries that are receiving your assistance is what's going on. Unlike maybe some really large organizations, we're in fairly constant contact with projects. And if you ever have questions about how things are going, please reach out to Sam or the staff to talk to them about it. I think the final thing I would say about Food for the Poor Canada is it's a really unique organization in terms of the footprint it occupies. We're small enough as a charity in this space that every dollar that we receive is important, but we're big enough, thanks in large part to the partnerships that Sam has described, that on the ground where the need is, we can be really effective. And that's an interesting place for an organization to be. And I think it's another reason why you can have confidence in continuing to give to Food for the Poor Canada and encouraging others to do so. So I've had a great 6 years. I'm not leaving because I want to. I'm leaving because that's what the bylaws say I have to do. As Sam mentioned, I'm going to stay in touch with the organization on on a committee or two, and look forward to seeing all of these colleagues and all of you donors and others in the future. So thank you very much. Thanks, Sam.
I think everybody, if you want to just take a moment to say bye to everybody. I seem to have lost my screen, but great to see everybody, and thank you very much for all that you do. And yeah, spread the word. I think that's the most important thing that we can say is spread the word, ask friends and family to support the work of Food for the Poor, and keep supporting the work. And we thank you. And it was great to see everybody from Winnipeg to Vancouver to Montreal to Middle Ontario. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you again.
Thank you, Sam.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Bye.